Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're making a treehouse. It's meant to be an indoor treehouse where the Ewoks live and everything. So we've been going through and building up our rebels rebellion base and everything. So this takes place in the secret base of all the characters where they mainly live. You've got Hoth over in the corner, which is a snow base. We have a ship bay where everyone can go and hang out as a park. And then I wanted to start to move into the residential areas where some of the rebels actually live. If they don't live inside the Hoth base, they'll have to live outside it. So I'm sort of combining the Hoth snow base with the lush jungle greenery of what is meant to be Endor. So basically we're starting out with tree houses. We were going to need tree houses. I was a bit skeptical about how much livability the tree houses would actually have, but as it turns out, quite a bit. I started up with these multi-tiered kind of decks on the trees, and I basically just took one tree and I said make it bigger and try and put like all these sections on it. In terms of indoor sections, I could only really fit like a really tiny one on like the lowest section. I tried to make the lower section a bit bigger and then the smaller section a bit smaller, just so it sort of made sense. And as we're going through, I decided to make the very top tier a bathroom shower area, and then make the bottom tier like the bedroom area, and have a lot of the functional livability items out on the deck surrounding the areas. And then down on the ground, we could have, some fun little miscellaneous tents. We could have some decoration. We could have anything that can't fit on the treehouse is going on the floor. So I've never done a treehouse before, and it was a pain. It was a pain in the ass. I didn't like it because it's like building with circles is so annoying. I would have much rather done like squares, rectangles, anything else but circles in this game, because they're an absolute pain in the ass. And it's like, if you do a building, it has to be a circular building. And it's like, it will not let you get away with much. Like, it has to be like the smallest building ever. And it just, anyhow, I won't go too much into it, but it was a real pain. But I did like how it actually turned out, which was the saving grace. I tried to make it look as homespun, as DIY and natural as I possibly could. Like something like legitimately like a treehouse from a little alien race of teddy bears, apparently. So I just basically stuck the tree right through the middle. I wasn't too concerned about having branches support the structures, though I do put down some wooden beams to actually bracket the bottom of the discs, just to make it look like, there is something actually supporting it. And for the treehouse itself, it's actually going to be the home of Finn and Poe from the sequel series. I just like the idea that, they're roommates living in a treehouse. And if you're so inclined, they can be friends, they can be best friends, they can even be more than that. It's completely up to you and the interpretation you want to take with the save. So I'm giving you options. It's up to you to tell the story, but go forth, my children. I never really got into the pairing of Finn and Poe. I sort of did. I did around The Force Awakens. And then their characters got shafted to the background and I sort of lost interest. And then Reylo happened and it took over my world. But I was really interested in that particular pairing early on. So I do it in memory, in honor of that. But I think they work spectacularly either way. If they're just friends or if they're lovers, it's really up to you. It's your story. But I think their friendship is actually just genuinely beautiful. Like, even if it didn't pan out to anything really interesting in the long run, or if their characters got shafted to the background, I do think they were just really fun characters, because at the end of the day, it's very refreshing to see that we have two characters who are not Palpatines, who are not Skywalkers, though there is a rumor going around. Right now, season 2 of Andor is coming out, and there's like a rumor going around that like Cassian from Andor is going to be Poe's father, which would make a certain kind of sense, I suppose. Maybe. I don't know about timelines. I'd have to look into it, but there's a rumor going around that that's a thing, and I'm like, fine. Fine. Everyone just has to be related to something great, don't they? But no, I honestly do actually really like the character of Finn, because just imagine an everyman from the stormtrooper aspect of it. I would have actually, I would, you know what? If I could have done it over again, I would have had Finn stay with the stormtroopers for a lot longer than he was, like maybe a whole movie, and then he, rebels and everything. But I love the idea of getting the stormtroopers within the Empire and the First Order, getting their perspective, because we never see it really. We're always seeing through the lens of like the head honchos and the head bad guys, but just the everyman, just, the stormtroopers that were taken away from their families, raised in this sort of really harsh environment that's very, rules and everything. And there's got to be like some kind of brotherhood. There's such story potential, because we know the clones can be really interesting. So I would have been so okay if Finn had stuck around with the clones for a little bit longer and just sort of been exposed to the wrongs of the First Order / Empire just a little bit longer, rather than having one scene where he goes, oh my god, we're basically slaughtering all these townspeople. Are we the baddies? And then he makes this really abrupt about change. And it just happens in one scene. It's a very effective scene, don't get me wrong, but also, yeah, okay, fine. It really just wanted to get to the main story, so it shunted him off, and he was rebelling and everything, and yeah, it's just, it could have had a bit more build up. I feel like there was real potential there for a bit of duality. Not everyone has to be the goodies, and everyone, we could have watched, First Order Finn for a little bit. That would have been fun. Anywho, with the interior of the actual treehouse, I tried to make it a little bit half-half. They get a desk. The furniture's not great. Again, it's Endor. And I wanted one side to be very Finn and the other side very Poe. So one of them has like a lot of personal effects, a lot of books and memorabilia from, so like he's got little cities, replicas and everything, but just there's a want there to see the world. And then on the other side you have Poe, who's like got like dirty dishes and booze and everything, and he's into music and everything, which I thought was a nice addition to his character, and he's just a little bit more fun and everything, which I like. And they're just living in this random treehouse. It would make more sense for them to live, I suppose, in the Hoth base, but I needed to spread some things out a little bit. So with the rest of the treehouse, it's basically just decoration. Got some fun things. I popped in like a telescope, and there's a little wash basin area, and just, trying to make it look like the Rebellion has taken an Endor treehouse and converted it into a Rebellion Endor treehouse. So it's got like the water tank, it's got power to it. There's like a power pole, there's power lines and everything. And they've basically just taken something that was very natural, and they've sort of just given it modern amenities, which, is completely fine. And then I think I just spent some time filling out the ground level. I do take some time. I don't believe I do it in this video, but I take some time to actually fill out around the lot as well. So I pop in some trees outside the barrier of the lot. I pop in some Rebellion tents and everything. And I pop in the Millennium Falcon. I build like a water base landing bay on the pond out behind this lot. So the Millennium Falcon does go there in the end, which is, I thought, a really cool use of that space, because I had a whole pond and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. So I decided, yeah, I'll chuck a ship on there, because otherwise there's not actually that many convenient locations to land a ship, because it is in the middle of a forest. So we had to do what we could. And then another cool thing I wanted to do with this lot was I actually wanted to connect it with the lot next to it, because I wanted it all to look like one big seamless Endor Ewok forest. So what I do is I finish up the treehouse, and then I actually put in a live edit object rope bridge from, I think it's from the Snowy Escape Pack, I think. Or that or the Jungle Adventure. And I actually connect it from the treehouse in this lot and I move it over to connect to the other treehouse that's going to be on the lot right next to it, which is also a forest build. I haven't actually decided what I'd want to do with that alternative lot. I think it's just going to be a basic, a more centered Ewok base, forest, meeting area, musical area, not sure. We'll look into it. It's going to be a big campfire though. And we'll just make it look really less rebel base, more Endor kind of thing, which I thought is really cool. And this is just me doing the bracketing of the actual discs and everything, because there is no way that those discs were going, those landings were going to just stay there by themselves. We have to give it some believability. So there's these big support barriers that are just made of wood. And I really like the ladders. The ladders are cool. Like, if you want to get up and down on this thing, there's some really cool ladders you can get up and on. And then I think I just add in like a power station, a converter, and an X-Wing. I've lovingly titled it Poe's X-Wing. So he can have his own ship and everything, and it's right there, it's ready to go. I didn't put in BB-8 though. I'm just realizing this now. I forgot to put in BB-8. Oh, that's terrible. And also, how's he going to get up into the treehouse? I did not think this through, honestly. But I do like this. I like that they have their own area and everything, which I think is so cute. But we'll see how it all goes, because we're coming to the end of our Rebel base now, and it's honestly filling out. And it's looking quite fun, actually. But I will go through and I'll have to I'll have to spend a really long time making a lot of actual background characters for like the rebels and the pilots, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the Ewoks though. I have two options. Number one, it's children in bear costumes, which I hate. I hate that idea. It's like, oh, please don't make me a reason more children have to live out in the forest with no parental supervision. Because it's like, you just know that if I did that, it'd just be some random rebel pilot or something that's going to be in charge of that household. And it's like, there's going to be all these little kids just running around in bear costumes. And it's like, oh, this is weird. Or there's a plushie of the Ewoks that you get with the Journey to Batuu pack. I could size them up and just place them everywhere. That way there's technically not like active Ewoks. There's just, little teddies of Ewoks everywhere, which I think is a bit morally better than involving the children in this, because what about the children? My God. So, yeah. I'm oddly very protective of the children now, ever since the Dobby incident. Oh my God. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the save is turning out. Next, I'm going to finish off the Rebel base, which is going to be really fun. And then I'm either going to go into finishing up the First Order section, which I think would be really cool, or I'm going to start on Coruscant. God help me. That's going to be fun. So yeah, we'll just see what happens. And then of course the Death Star is probably going to be last. It's going to be the last of the things, just so I can really get it correct and dedicate some really good time to it, because that thing is going to be immense. I'm planning to have like 50 Sims live on this one Death Star, and it's like, I'm going to have to be really clever with like their accommodations and stuff. It's going to be fantastic. Anywho, it's going to be fantastic. But we will see how it goes. Otherwise, this lot is about done. I hope you enjoyed it. I do go through and I put in some very subtle, lush greenery from the Jungle Escape Pack. It's got like this certain shade of green though that I'm not sure I love. It's just such a different green from all the other greens you typically have. So I want to use it sparingly, but I do love the vines that come with that pack. So I make my peace with it. But I really love how the power lines that I popped in just sort of bring such, I love power lines. I've said it in other videos, I'm sorry, but I love power lines in The Sims 4. They just bring such, livability to it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. There is so much more to the Star Wars save, but we are getting through it eventually. I hope you're having a fantastic day, okay? Bye-bye!